Welcome to Community Talk. We're here to talk about disc golf in Enid. And my name is John Stockmeyer. I'm a faculty member at Northwestern Oklahoma State, based in Enid. And joining me is Chad. How do you pronounce your last name, Chad?
It's only 4 letters, but it's pretty hard to say. It's Chad Netch, and I'm with Enid Disc Golf Club, and I've been working with John at the local golf course trying to grow the sport and just sort of grow our club and get Enid involved.
And one of the things we wanted to do was just let everybody know what we have, what it is, and why you should be interested and why you might be excited about this. For those of you who don't know, disc golf, some people call it frisbee golf. Those in the know call it disc golf because it's not associated with, I believe frisbee is a Mattel brand name or something.
Whammo.
Whammo. Yeah, I think you're right. So it's disc golf, and it's played very much like regular golf, or what we call ball golf, except instead of playing with golf clubs and balls and trying to get a ball in a little hole, you play with discs that look sort of like this, and they're different than, some of you may be familiar with the old style sort of throw and catch discs, and I brought one along as an example. Here's a freestyle disc, and if you can kind of see the difference, I'll try to do the edge there. You know, see how much thinner this one is, and it's also about twice as heavy. And one thing we tell people is you don't throw and catch these. You can actually break your fingers, especially with some of the heavier, thinner.
It's a sharp bevel.
Sharp bevel.
This is for driving. It's for distance. It's not really for playing catch with your friends.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes we'll see people come out and throw it to each other, and I always tell them, no, don't do that.
We've also had folks mistake it for an actual ball golf course, and which is great if you're out there hitting some balls. But maybe join us sometime, throw some frisbees. We have some frisbees for sale. We're doing a fundraiser, and all of these benefit the club. As a whole, we're growing the course. We only have a 9-hole course with dirt tee pads. It's pretty fun to play on, but I think we could draw more players from the local area and outside of Enid. Ponca City, Stillwater, Guthrie, Wichita. These are all places that we could draw other players from for competitive tournaments.
I actually looked at a map the other day, and if you look at where Enid is and our little disc golf course, there's a pretty huge area, radius around it, where there are no towns that have disc golf. You have to go north, you have to go to Ponca City. South, you have to go to, where's the nearest course?
Stillwater, Perry.
Stillwater, Perry.
Guthrie.
And there's nothing out west.
No,
So,
we're sort of the last thing as you go west. So, But it is growing at an exponential rate. Disc golf it's taking off. You've got sports that sort of come and go. I've tried rollerblading. A lot of people have tried CrossFit, and these things sort of come and go. Disc golf started officially in 75, 76.
Yeah.
And now we have 90,000 registered players. These are players competing competitively at the next level. So there's about 2 million casual players right now estimated. But it's really growing, and I think Enid's just sort of coming in at the tail end of that. So we could really do something good here.
And one of the misconceptions about it, some people that may have heard about it, there's kind of almost a negative connotation. Sometimes I've heard, disc golfers, they're kind of undesirable, or I won't even use the term.
It's quite the opposite. We've actually got a large percentage of those are college graduates, some with some college. It's not the same, I think it's not we're treating this more as a professional sport. The players are taking care of their bodies. They're going out on tour, competing for money. And at the introductory level, I think you're seeing a lot more of this involved in the elementary school systems where it's offered in place of PE or alongside PE. A couple of states have even offered it in place of PE. So I think it's really come a long ways since the days of those negative connotations.
Well, it's a sport that kind of came out of the counterculture of the 1960s.
It did.
And the interesting thing about it is it retains some of that feel. It's the only sport I know of.
It's very inclusive.
It's very inclusive. Everybody's kind of on the same side. It's an individual sport. You're kind of playing against yourself. It's not a what's the word? It's not a I mean, it's competitive, but it's.
If you look at other sports that our kids are playing, you see football where the focus is on the quarterback, and this is the most important player. In disc golf, you don't have those sort of divisions. You are the player, so it's a lot more inclusive that way if you're looking for something to do with the young ones. But
well, it's also inclusive in terms of all kinds of people. All kinds of people play. My group that I used to play, and it's a lot of professionals, doctors, nurses, played with lawyers before, all the way. In my old group I used to play with in New Mexico, we actually had a guy who was literally a grave digger. And I used to tell people, we've got doctors to grave diggers. And that was honest. And all sorts of people play, and we all get along, and it's the only sport I know of where you can actually go out of town and go to a disc golf course, show up, and there's a group of people playing, and you can just kind of join up, and it's like your old buddies. It's amazing. I can't think of any other sport like that.
it's also very cost-effective for smaller communities. While it takes considerable more amount to put in a baseball diamond or a football field, or even just the upkeep and maintenance of a ball golf course, disc golf offers a much more affordable option for smaller communities. Enid doesn't have a whole lot of unused park space. We've used it up pretty well, but you don't need a lot of space either for one of these. I think 5 or 6 acres, you can get a 9-hole course in. So.
And I do want to mention this course is exactly where it is. It's 29th and Randolph. I think that's
30th and
or 30th
Randolph.
and Randolph.
Yeah.
It's on the grounds of the Northwestern Oklahoma State University campus, and it was put in a couple years ago, and it was really the brainchild of Dean McMillan, dean of the campus out here, and that's where I work. And I got to help lay out the course and do some of the initial stuff. And I was shocked when I moved to Enid that a town this size did not have a disc golf course. And it's the biggest town I know of that, doesn't really have that. So we're sort of moving into the.
We're finally catching up with some other local communities. A couple great examples that I'd like to highlight and give a shout out to is Ponca City and Stillwater. They are both doing great things with their local clubs. They run fundraisers, just everything they can to give back to the community and grow the sport. It's sort of what we've modeled our club off of, so hat off to them. Another quick example of a community that didn't really see disc golf as a viable option, but now they do, is Guthrie, Oklahoma. They put in a course this last year and hesitantly put on a tournament, and they made so much money at the tournament that now they'd like to look at putting a second championship level course in. So that's just one example. There's a lot of great examples. Emporia, Kansas is bringing in millions and millions of dollars a year with the Glass Blown Open event. It's the largest competitive disc golf tournament in the world, and it's just one state over.
And it's so popular that when they open the registration, if you don't get registered in, how long?
I think I got registered in about 20 minutes. It had filled up 200 people in my division, so it was pretty fast.
So we're saying it's a good thing for the community. It brings in money. We also do some other good things. The disc golf community is very town-oriented, charity-oriented. We do, very often we do fundraisers. We did a tournament raising funds for Loaves and Fishes with cans of food and raising money for them. And it's a very common thing for the disc golf community to do to help out the community.
You could be a part of this with us. You don't have to be out there throwing discs with us every Sunday to be a part of this movement. If you want to help when we do a fundraiser raising canned food, feel free. Come on out, bring us your canned food. If you want to help us raise toys for the kids around Christmas, let's do that. You don't have to throw these discs to do that.
And you don't have to be an athlete. If you look at either one of us, you know, we're not obviously not world-class athletes. You can be any age.
It's an ageless sport.
It's truly a sport that you can play for a lifetime, and it's low impact. And I have some trouble with back problems, and I find that playing disc golf actually helps. It helps. You know, it's low impact, and it. You know, I've played disc golf in tournaments with people in their 80s, and it's, you know, like I said, truly a sport you can play for a lifetime. And we, I don't know, what else do we want? We told them where the course is.
Yeah, the course is 2929 East Randolph. It's at the corner of 30th and Randolph at Northwestern Oklahoma State University.
And when do we normally play? Is that changing?
The first quarter's over. We have some more sunlight, so we're going to 6 p.m. on Sundays. And we're trying to offer more days during the week. That gives us more income to build the course up and do fundraising tournaments with. So the more we can do that, and the more members we have in our club, the more we can help Enid.
And we'd like to thank you for joining us on Community Talk. We certainly hope to see you out at the course.
Welcome to Community Talk. I'm Julie Nelson with Hospice Circle of Love. We're a not-for-profit organization that has been in the Enid community for over 30 years, and we help terminally ill patients live a higher quality of life at the end of life by providing physical, emotional, and spiritual support in their home or nursing home with a team of caregivers. And today we want to tell you about an event we have coming up, our annual spring book sale. And I also have one of our volunteers with me today, Jovita Lang, and she's going to help me tell you all about our event. So it's coming up pretty quickly here.
Coming up in a couple of weeks, yes. April 7th and 8th It's going to be at the office, right north of the office in our building that we built there, where they store the books. We'll be open on Friday and Saturday. Also, we will have refreshments. We will have, and that's just by donation.
Yes.
I think there'll be cookies and brownies and whatnot there. There's lots of books.
Yes, thousands, really.
Yes.
I think if someone showed up there that hadn't been before, they would be amazed with how many books we really
They would
do have.
be, and you know, they're in categories, so
Right.
I think that really does help. So you can go right to the category. They're all marked well, and that's always good. And then I think the best thing about it is there are 50 cents for paperbacks and $1 for hardbacks.
That's right.
And it doesn't matter the size of the book, if it's big or small. I mean, we'll do some special deals on some children's books. But other than that, the books, and they go through, they work all year long, the volunteers do, on sorting those books and getting them ready for the book sale. And so people are just line up.
Yes.
We have a big crowd. We have lots of fun. I really enjoy the book sale. I've worked
Yes.
with it for like 20 years, and it's a little different every time, but we have different people. But we also have like romance for $5,
Yes.
a big sack, a big brown paper sack. Those would be $5, and so people stuff those full. And,
Yes.
Yeah, and that's always a big seller. We have westerns, we have
Yes.
fiction, nonfiction, You'll probably have to help me out on
Mysteries.
that. Mysteries.
Cookbooks.
Oh, cookbooks. That's my weakness.
Oh, I want to mention that we have lots of children's books.
Lots of children. Yeah, we usually have a lot of children's books, and those are really nice. Most of them are in really good shape. Then we have religious books.
Yes.
And we have coffee table books, which are always very nice. And then we have tapes too. And
Yes. DVDs, VHS tapes, some music CDs.
And some puzzles.
Yes.
We usually always have puzzles, so that works out well. The volunteers will be working all week long getting it ready. They'll start on Monday, and then the book sale opens at 9 o'clock on
Yes,
Friday.
both days. It'll start at 9.
Now, we've changed it a little bit this year. We're going to be open longer on Friday.
Yes,
So-
till 7 p.m.
Yeah, till 7. So people that work till 5 can have a couple hours to come. And then we also have people bringing books all the time as when the book sale's going on.
And throughout the whole year.
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. You can leave your books anytime in the hospice office right inside the door. You can just set them in there during the office hours, and then they'll take them over to the building and sort them and everything.
And if you have a lot of books, if you'll let us know you're there, we'll have you drive over to the North Building and unload them, and then they'll already be in place. And then our two ladies, our two Jeans, we call them, that are our volunteers, will sort those books throughout the year.
Well, also, I have gone to several estate sales, and I've told them, you know, if they have books left over to call me, and they've called me, so they can call the hospice office, and we will go pick those up if they want to donate them to hospice. So this has really grown. I think it's really grown, and it's really amazed me how many people come, how many people enjoy it. I just delivered some posters, and
Yes.
one of the managers to one of the stores said, "Oh my goodness," said, he was so excited about it, and and then he saw the prices, and he was really excited about it, you know. So
Yes.
he was sure going to come, but
Well, you can get a brand new book. You know, someone only read it one time and it's a hardback. You'd pay 20 something for it in the store, and you can get it at our book sale for only $1. And I'm talking about books that are currently, you know, books that you would currently buy at a store. So we have newer books. You also might be able to find some older books. I've had people tell me that they were looking for a specific book in a series and they weren't able to find it at a bookstore, but they found it at our book sale.
exactly, exactly. So we have fundraisers, you know, all year long for hospice, but this is one of our big ones. We have the Light the Tree in December. We have this one.
Kentucky Derby Party and the clay
yes,
shoot.
Yes, and the clay shoot, yes, yes. So we have fundraisers all year long, and this is for our patients.
Yes.
To help people that, you know,
If they don't have Medicare or insurance, then we can't bill Medicare or insurance, and so we'll use the money from our fundraisers to help us take care of those patients.
yes, yes. And that's such a worthwhile thing. I mean, if you ever sit with a hospice patient, you see how worthwhile it is, and
Yes.
and then you hear people say, "Oh, you're with Hospice Circle of Love. Oh goodness, they had so and so in my family, and how pleased they were with them." And so it's just a great thing, and the nicest people you work with. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone you work with is usually experienced somewhere hospice somewhere in their family or something, and so they're all just so sweet and so kind, and that really means a lot when you work with people, I think, and especially volunteers. I mean, because it's all we're all volunteers, and so it's very enjoyable. I really enjoy it.
You know, our nurses, a lot of them have been there a long time, and they're very qualified at knowing what to do to help with pain and symptom management. Our aides, they've all been there at least 15 years, and they're so good at giving baths and being caring and gentle. And we just hear comments all the time about how great they are. Then we have our chaplain, Gary Miller, who helps with spiritual support. Our wonderful, wonderful volunteers who provide companionship and respite for the caregivers. And we have music therapy and pet therapy.
Yes, yes, that's great.
Those are
I don't
great
have much to do
programs.
with the pet therapy or the music, but that's right, we do have that, and I've seen that done, and it's very enjoyable. But I've sat with some different patients, and I do different things, whatever they really request. Sometimes the family, I had a patient that couldn't talk, but she could listen, and she would hold my hand, and they wanted me to read scripture to her. And so I would read the Bible to her, and I've had people, like one of read the newspaper, you know, that can't read
Yes.
or weren't able to see that well enough to read. And so all different kinds of things that we do, and to go sit at a house for someone during a service or something, I've done that. And so they're just so helpful in so many ways
Yes.
that it's just a shame we haven't had this forever. I mean, it's been 30 years, and I have a friend that was one of the first volunteers, Naomi Snow, and she's still a volunteer.
Yes.
So when our people come, they usually stay for a long time.
Yes, they do.
They're not come and go, they come and stay. So
Yes.
it's so nice.
I think some of the people that are connected with us, they just kind of feel a calling, and you know, it's like you get something out of working with the people that you're helping.
Yes. Well, you know, they take, and then whenever their situation is over, then they want to give too, to give back to by their volunteer work and by what they do. So I just think that's a wonderful thing.
Yes, and let's mention the times again for the sale. It's going to be from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Friday and 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. And I know First Friday will be going on downtown, so if people want to come check the books out before they leave downtown, we're just right off of the downtown area there at 314 South 3rd. You can take Main to get to us or get to us off of Garriott. We have a big sign. Can't really miss us.
No, you can't miss us because we do have a big sign, yeah. And that's April the 7th and April the 8th.
Yes.
So it's just around the corner. So
Yes.
we do welcome everybody there. We are, now it's wide enough, I think, for a walker to go if you have a walker or something. And we'll help you carry the books to the car,
Yes.
or, you know, if you have a struggle with that. So they're very helpful. We always have plenty of volunteers to help. And I think we have some new volunteers, but
We do.
we're always open for more volunteers.
Yes.
And it's not just ladies, but it's men.
Yes.
We have men volunteers, and they really enjoy it also.
And it's
so.
nice for the male patients to have a male volunteer
It is.
as well.
It really is. I think they're probably more, maybe sometimes more comfortable, you know, with that. But
Yes.
we get it all. Like I said, we have tables set up so you don't have to bend over. It's all very handy and very well lit, and we just hope for good weather.
Yes.
That's what,
If the
what we
weather
wish
is
for.
good, we'll set some tables outside also,
Yes.
and that kind of helps people browse a little easier. There's a little more room out there.
yes, and they can browse before we open because we'll have the tables out there, so that always
That's
helps
true.
too. But
Yeah.
you know, it's we have one in the fall also. We have
In
two a year.
October.
When we first started, we had just one a year. And then we started several years ago having two. So, and that has worked out very well because we get so many books that it's just probably good to have two. But our volunteers sort through those and throw away ones that, you know.
If they're moldy or something like that, yeah, they'll do that.
Yeah.
So we do have mostly very high quality books.
Yes, yes. I don't know that we mentioned Westerns, but Westerns all go
Those
very
are
well.
very popular.
Yes, they are. They are.
Oh, and we have a lot of science fiction this time too. I don't think we mentioned
Oh,
science
do we?
fiction.
And biography, we have
Yes.
biography.
A lot of other subcategories of nonfiction as well. You know, self-help.
Gardening.
Yes, gardening. You could read about dreams. You could read about how to build a shed. There's a very large variety. Oh, and we have a lot of books about flying and the Air Force too.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess I have seen some of those.
Yeah, and just military in general. We have
Yes.
a lot of those.
Yes. Well, there's a big selection, and we welcome everybody to come on Friday, April 7th and Saturday, April 8th.
Yes,
And so
you'll
we're going to
be
be open
amazed what you can
Saturday,
find.
a little longer on Saturday this year. Usually I think we close at 1. We'll be open all day. So it's worth going to.
Definitely.
Worth going to.
Okay, and so once again, that's going to be on April 7th from 9 to 7 and April 8th from 9 to 5 at Hospice Circle of Love. It's at 314 South 3rd in Enid, and you can get more information about it on our website, which is hospicecircleoflove.com. Thanks for joining us.